Hello and welcome to the Fibonacci free video for Monday, January 23rd. This is David, and let's dig into Tesla, which, among other things, had a pretty massive day to the upside today, tacking on about 10 points and about 7% to the rally that it's had off of lows early this year. And that rally has carried this stock up from a sloppy test of the Voodoo Fireline down at 108 and 3 cents, right, up to a move today, which took it right into its Voodoo tree line at 144.79 cents. So the fire line is the most important of our Voodoo line levels. The tree line is the second most important, and it's a way to benchmark what are generally relatively systematic moves from level to level to level. And what it means to be a most important or second most important or third most important level, and there are 5 degrees of levels in the Voodoo lines, right, is that generally when things are well behaved, we can expect to see more significant swings coming from more significant levels, and less significant swings coming from less significant levels. And that can provide us a way to kind of build roadmaps based on the way things move betwixt and between those levels to try and figure out one, where we might see some pivots, and two, what those pivots mean for the trend at differing degrees. So, as Tesla was coming down from its all-time high, it found its way into this Voodoo Fireline, and that's where we started to get one of the larger bounces since that all-time high. So again, something that wouldn't be unexpected to get a larger bounce from that fire line. Of course, it ran out of gas. After some interaction with this upper fire line, right, wiggled around it for a couple of days, continued up, held the fire line, bounced into a tree line area, and then broke below it, showing that maybe it was turning back down again. Once it revisited that 204 fire line, right, bounce up, this time broke it, tested from below and held resistance, and that sent us down into the lower fire line. So again, relatively systematic interactions with those levels, and now holding this. So what we know is, if this is truly going to be a bullish reversal and we're heading back to new all-time highs, obviously we need to get through all of these intermediate levels, the 204 fire line, the 263 fire line, and if this is truly bullish, then of course we need to do that. The point of focusing on these levels is not just that they're in between here and new all-time highs, but these levels keep coming into play again and again and again. Similarly, we can then point out that in order to try and retest this 204 level that provided support for a larger bounce, right, in the middle of last year, and then again for a smaller bounce in October of last year, right? In order to get back to that level, we would need to necessarily get through this 144.79 tree line and this 167.50 tree line, and it remains to be seen whether Tesla's going to do that. This was the natural first step in a solid bounce off of lows to start the year, but now we've gotten to that 144.79 level, and that's where we have an important decision here in Tesla. So if we can get support above the tree line, meaning we get above it, we get pullbacks which hold support, then we'll look and see if it can ratchet up to 167.50 and support above there. Potentially leaves the door open for a more consequential retest of 204 and 26 cents, and we can then gauge whether it turns back down there or finds support above. So you can see we don't know what it's going to do, but we know some signs to look for. And this 144.79 level that we reached today is an important level to watch as we assess that. And if we turn down instead, again, this 108.03 level is consequential, and resistance underneath it would be quite bearish. You can see none of these other pokes below found resistance. They quickly turned back up. And we have some smaller degree levels between the tree line at 144.79 and that 108 fire line, notably the 122 snow line and the 130 and 75 cent snow line. So the first sign that this is perhaps giving up 144.79 would be coming below, testing and finding resistance below 130.75 and continuing downward. So those are the things that I will be watching, and so far, Tesla has been respecting these and respecting them far better than some of the traditional fib levels that we might watch. Now, that doesn't mean that traditional fib analysis has no place here, but I am going to be primarily focused here on the Voodoo lines. If we do, look at some of the pure fibs, we can look at this this pullback that we had. Right from what was this, down from Wednesday's high last week into Thursday's low, right? And if we do measure that swing high to swing low, and then look at external retracements to that, you can see that the 161.8% external retracement, that is the spot where this leg up would be 161.8% of this move down, is right in that tree line area. And so it does reinforce the importance of this area that we reached in here. And we can also, let's zoom out a little bit so that we can see more of the bounce from the start of the year, right? We can also come in and measure the move up from the start of the year into today's high, and note that the 61.8 retracement is down here right around $118. A solid break of that would argue that we're likely turning back down, and I would think that would fit with seeing solidly below 122. Would suggest, because Tesla had given up the 130 snow line and the 122 snow line, the two third-degree Voodoo lines between the fire line and the tree line, that we were heading back down for a test of 108. Certainly, so long as things stayed below 122, and would open the door to the downside. So we are, as I mentioned, and as we've worked through looking at the details, right, at I think an important decision area. We know that Tesla has earnings coming up on Wednesday, so we can keep an eye on which way that drives things and have some levels that we can use to benchmark that subsequent action. So I hope you found this useful, and I will see you at the next update. Hey, David here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. I hope you found it useful. And if you did, please help us out. Click the like button. You can also add your comments below. We love to read those and respond to them. You can also click the bell icon. That will alert you whenever we have new and updated videos. And if you want to watch us trade in real time with our own money, you can visit simplertrading.com to learn how to sign up. Until I see you again, as always, good trading, and we'll see you at the next video.